What's up guys, the Bobcat here and welcome back to a brand new Let's Play of Fallen Enchantress Legendary Heroes. Now I originally did a Let's Play on this a while ago now, where the first part was me talking about all the different classes and factions and their special abilities and all the rest. I'm going to do that again, for the benefit of people who may not have seen this game before. But the reason I'm coming back to this game is because, firstly, it's quite a good game, and secondly, it had two new DLCs added. One which added a brand new faction, which we will be playing as, and the other one added new leaders to play as or fight against. So, to start, we are going to go to new game. So, this is the new faction. It is the Undead. As you can see, they are skeletons and ghosts. I am going to talk about all the classes once again. I'm going to try and get through it quite quickly, just in case some people do want to just go straight to the gameplay. In that case, I'll probably leave a timestamp in the description so you can skip all this talking. But anyway, if we scroll down slightly, if this will work, there we go. When we get to Warlord Vega, these are the originals who without the DLC, including Morrigan the Risen, but you have to have the Undead faction DLC to get her. But if we come down, you will see we've got all these others heroes we can play as. Furnaceborn, all these other people. I'm not going to try to pronounce all their names, Sanjo, just because I will probably just embarrass myself. But as we come down, we see them all, including our old character. This is the character we originally used in the very first playthrough of this game. But let's start by going through all their different abilities. So, firstly, Morrigan the Risen. She's an undead. Undead suffer no damage from poison because they're undead. They never suffer critical attacks. They have a -2 to initiative, which is kind of problematic. They also have terror and are immune to fear. Now the Disciple we will talk about when we get into the character creation screen. Attunement, +2 mana per season, brilliant, extra 10% experience, and +2 spell mastery per level. However, they are weak, so whenever she attacks, she will suffer a -2 to her attack or damage. I think it's mostly physical, that one, rather than ranged. But you have to remember that these are just for this specific character, apart from the top one, and these ones as well. But she is an undead, so raising the city transfers the population to our capital. Men or fallen defeated in combat are transferred to the nearest city as population, which is quite interesting. Also Grave Touched, which gives us all these nice spells. Unlocks spells that do damage to all adjacent enemies, 3 damage per level, and all the way up to unlocks a Haunting Army, which gives us an army for 3 seasons. Our unique equipment is an undead horse, +2 movement, 100% prone avoidance, so we cannot get knocked prone, +2 attack on first turn, and +2 initiative, which is quite strong. And our buildings are adding graves, so we had 120, 250, and then 600. So that's the undead. We will be playing as them. Moving on to the Altarians, or Kingdom of Altar, who we originally played as. They get +10% experience, and they also have a special ability known as Rush, which allows them to take an extra action, as it says. Sorry about that. They also have 2 types of spells, well, him specifically. He also has accuracy per level and spell resistance, which is quite good, and can train henchmen. So he gets a special type of unit to train. He also has Wanderlust and Heroic. So Heroic provides extra experience, and Wanderlust gives us access to these items here, which are quite good. Not the best, but certainly okay. You get special armor, a quest map, which gives us a quest, which is always good, and 2 different types of blades. So that's them. A bit more basic than the Risen, and the Undead, but certainly potent. Next we have General Caridus of Capitar. He's of Mesa Blood, so all their units get +1 accuracy per level and +1 moves, which is certainly quite strong. Again, the magics we'll talk about later. He's a tactician to start off with, so his army gets +1 initiative, very potent. And he also has the ability to escape from battle. He starts off with the research civics, which is certainly very potent. He can build certain buildings, and he's lucky. He has a special unit which is a warhorse, which is actually better than the undead one. As you can see, it gives +3 rather than +2. And his unique improvement is a bazaar, so more gold, and the rush cost is cheaper. Moving on to the wrestling, we have Wraithblood. They can drain hit points per level. They have a high chance of dodging, and have -1 hit point per level. Not particularly nice. This character in particular has +2 mana per season, can summon a familiar, and is scarred. The Empire itself has shard harvesting, so they start off with that, which is actually really strong because that's an expensive technology to get. They have Death Worship, which gives them lots of nice spells. Binding, so they can build special units, which you see there. Cult of 100 Eyes, which again, special units, but they cannot wear armour, which as you might imagine is not particularly good, so you have to make use of all the shard minions you can summon. Moving on to the Tarth, who are probably the most useless of all the races and factions. They get +3 attack when fighting in an army of 3 or smaller, +2 initiative when fighting in an army of 3 or smaller, and double strike. And this particular character, Lady Irene, has the 2 spells. But they're Master Scouts, which gives them no movement penalties, which is actually really good. They have stealth, so monsters generally won't attack them, but that's not something that's a big issue. They're archers, which means they mostly have bows, which is horrible because bows aren't very good compared to the stuff you get later on while playing as other factions. They're just not very good. Also get Masterwork Chainmail, which means they can wear chainmail, and rebels, so 10% unrest. And actually, jumping back to the altar for a minute, they, I do believe, get some more special weapons which aren't shown here, such as special mauls, which are maces, which are really good. If you go back and watch the my old series when we played as them, you will see them. When we take out the Titan of Gold, which we came across and destroyed their army. That was a fun time. Going back to them though, they mostly have bows. That Masterwork Chainmail's pretty good, but they're just not worth it. Now, Emperor Caravox of the Craxis Empire. He's of Crax blood. Gives him +8 defense when under 50% HP and Fortify. He's also wealthy, so he starts with 400 Gildar and doubles value when selling in shops. This is him specifically. They themselves have defensive, so they get special defenses. And they also have a spell that lets them convert cities to their cause. That's quite cool. Their unique equipment is special shields, spears, mostly spears. But these spears are certainly very nice. So they've got certain potential. Moving on, Umbar. They get +2 attack when in an army of 5 or larger, which is quite nice. He himself is mighty, disciplined, and cruel. And they have assassin's tools, which gives them special poisons. Master Scouts, again, no movement penalties. They are warriors, so they start off with that technology. Training technology, precise. And they also have Masterwork Chainmail, kind of the opposite of the Tarth, which is quite interesting. So they get Chainmail, a Vial of Poison, and 2 types of special blades. Next, we have the Magnars. They're of the Quandar blood, which gives them 50% fire resist, -50% cold resist, so weak to cold, as you might imagine. They do look sort of lizardy. He himself is brilliant and can train slaves. So, as you can see, this faction can trade slaves. Slaves don't cost wages and cost less labour to produce, but are weaker than normal. So it's more of a quantity versus quality thing with these guys. Generally, you would overwhelm your opponent with numbers rather than with powerful units. Slave Lord he gets a Fleshbound Tome, which gives him what looks to be special spells, which allow him to do things. Masterwork Chainmail, and this special stone he starts with. Next, we have Malkin of Gilden. These guys are probably some of the best. I forget why, it's been a while since I played as them, but they are really good, especially him in particular. He's got Iron Earblood, so tactical spells cost 50% more. He has Spell Resist, HP per level, well, all their warriors do, to be precise. The two magics again, Hardy, so he's immune to poison, and he can train golems. Now, I think I played as these guys. I don't know if I showed that Let's Play, that may have not, but I played as these guys at one point. The train golems thing, it's not particularly good late game, and by the time you get them, they're just not really worth it. But Mastersmiths, all their stuff is cheaper, which is really good. Great Hammers, so they get special hammers, and Light Plate, so they get special armors, special shields, and special hammers, which are all really good. But this Mastersmiths, so useful, because upgrading units can get very expensive. So that ability in alone makes them very worthwhile. Next we have Queen Persephone of Paradin. They get special bonuses per shards they get. She has plenty of magics, but she's weak. They get special tomes and special staffs. So here are all the tomes. We can buy these and we can learn the Disciple, which is quite nice. Also special staffs. And the Scrying Pool, which is really good. That essence, which we'll talk about when we actually get into the game itself, will be particularly nice. And I'm hoping the music isn't too loud over my voice. I've turned it down quite a lot, but I'm not sure. Anyway, finally we have Warlord Verikar. He's of Trog blood, +2 attack when under 50% HP, and gets Berserk, which means their units can go mental and do extra damage initiative, but you can't control them. He can also train Juggernauts. He's hardy, but he can train Juggernauts. Now, Juggernauts are amazing. They are some of the best units you can possibly hope to get. I will probably end up playing as these guys, just to show off the Juggernauts, but they are so good, the Juggernauts. They're warriors, so they start off with that particular tech. Their units get +1 levels. They're tough. Axe mastery, so they get dual axes for everything, which is quite nice, but they can't use ranged weapons, so no bows or magic, and magic staffs are very useful. And that's it for the basic ones. I could talk about all these, but the most I've done is read their descriptions, and they're essentially variations on the already existing races which are up there, apart from this one, which is our original character, which we used in the former campaign, or the first. Anyway, let's now create a character. We are about 13 minutes in, so let's create a character. Now, first things first, we don't want to be of Umbar. We want to be of, probably going the wrong way for this, the Dead. So, magics. Now, we get to choose these. As you can see, we have points up here. Each one of these gives us special abilities or magics to use within the game. Now, Air. Basic Air, so obviously Air Apprentice, Air Disciple. I think it goes up another 2 levels, but it costs points to do that, so we can't go up that high. But start off with Air Apprentice. It gives us more initiative and more dodge chance, and also +2 Gildar per essence in a city, which is quite nice to get. This one is a really, really good one to get. In fact, I probably will end up getting it, just because of how good it is. Next, we have Death. Now, Death is to do with weakening your opponents and causing unrest. So it reduces unrest in a city, and causes bad things to happen to other enemies. Next level, it causes unrest in target cities and more damaging and stun locking, I suppose. Next we have Earth, which level 1 gives us Aura of Might, Enchanted Hammers, and Nature's Cloak. This is very defensive but also production based. I'm probably going to take this one as well as Air, just because of how good it is. Level 2 gives us Stone Skin, Tremor, Nature's Call, all very potent. Fire, as we go on, is to do with damaging, obviously, and more damage. And water is to do with research and slowing opponents, as it says there. Level 2, Chaos does a random effect upon target and can freeze armies. Again, very nice. But the ones I'm going to take are Air and Earth, because these two are just really, really good. Now, we have a profession. So, Adventurer, plus 10 fame on completing quests. Quite nice, but not particularly great. Bandit Lord, we start with 2 bandits and has 2 bandit units and have the ability to convert bandits. Not particularly useful, I don't think. Diplomat, trading goods at 30% more and has silver tongue. Nah, I don't think so. Hunter, quite nice. Scholar, 20% research. That is particularly nice looking. Warlock, spells you do 25% more damage. Armourer, all units get 25% more defense. Beast Lord, can take control of an enemy beast. General, 25 experience. Noble, minus 10% unrest in all cities. Summoner, summons. And Warlord, 50% minus to unit wages, so we don't have to pay units as often. In regards to these, I think Noble is really good. General, Armourer, Scholar. Which one do we want to take? Well, Scholar is particularly potent, and getting research is always important. The Unrest, though, I've never had any problems with the Unrest, but just for the sake of it, we'll take the Noble. Now, talents. Here we can see talents and weaknesses. For every weakness we give, we get a point. For every one we spend, obviously, for every one of these we choose, it spends a point. So, attunement, get plus 2 mana per season. Quite nice. Caution, escape battle, hardy, sovereign band. We've seen most of these before on the other characters. Plus 20% critical hit chance versus male opponents. Brilliant, discipline, might, tactician, lifeblood, treasure hunter. I think I'll take tactician because we need something to offset the initiative penalty we'll take. With this particular character, we could take cruel because it is being offset by our noble, so we are cruel noble. We could also take vulnerable to magic or cowardly. We don't have to take any of these though. I think we may take clumsy. It depends. We'll see. Let's move on to appearance stuff for now. Now then, what do we want for appearance wise? Don't want that. Let's see. Is there anything particular good we can have? We could have that. We could also have some braces. They don't really do anything though, just aesthetic wise. So I don't really fancy taking any of those. Could get some boots. Well, this is simply just clothing. We'll move on to equipment now. In fact, we'll get rid of those armbands because they look stupid. Equipment. So this is where we equip things which are actually worth something. Some things we can't equip because it costs points, obviously. So I think we take maybe the incineration staff. Costs 1 point to take, unfortunately. And I can't take the bunny slippers, which I want to take. Could even take a horse and accessories. Looks like we may add in clumsy and cruel. Oh, we can't. We can only have one. Which one do we want? Well, we'll go clumsy because we're not going to be using melee. So we'll have the bunny slippers. It looks like we're wearing a bathrobe now, which is quite nice. And I think we'll leave it there in terms of equipment. We can also have, well, we can also change our skull, I suppose. We can add horns. We can add hair. Just go bald if we wanted. We'll just go normal bald head. And body-wise, what stance do we want to be in? I think that stance is quite cool. Maybe that stance. That looks alright. We can also write a backstory. That's just the generic one. So we'll leave the backstory as is. So we can random a name or we can choose one. Sign. Or Sin. Sinny? I don't know. That seems alright though. Why not? So we have the Empire of the Dead. And I think this will be our character. Yeah, looks okay. What time are we on? We're on 20 minutes now. Yeah, that's fine. Background can be that. We can change it should we feel the need. That one seems fine. Lots of backgrounds to choose from. Maybe that one. That's quite nice. Yeah, something like... Spoiled for choice now. Maybe that. Background wise, we'll have maybe that one. I'm not particularly bothered. So here's our character. Now then, let's actually start playing, or start creating the world at least. So this is the settings for the world. World size, medium, we'll keep it as it is. Plenty of quests, population's going to be fine. Which population is actually going to be an interesting thing for us because of our special faction ability. Now the world difficulty we're going to have on insane and monsters dense. Why? Because in my original playthrough, hang on a second, the music is getting obnoxiously loud for me. There we go. Anyway, in my original playthrough, someone left a comment saying that they would watch if the difficulty was a lot higher. So I've put the world difficulty and the monster density up, because why not? It could be fun, or we could die horribly. It all depends. So that's what we're going to have. And next. So we can have all the victory conditions. We'll leave the intelligence on normal. A gets no bonuses, but they're not using the best algorithms. What about challenging? Maybe challenging instead. Well, we've got plenty of victory conditions to choose from, so I'll put it on challenging. And I'll rejoin you all when we actually enter the game. Just so you don't have to watch the loading screen. So, here we are. Let's see what type of map we've been given. Now then. The music's a bit quiet now. I'm going to have to up that a bit. There we go. So, what location do we want? Well, because we're undead, our special ability really is that we don't need food. So we can ignore all the greens. So this position here is quite nice. However, here we have a 5-1. Now I would like to have the 2, but that's a 5. And we might as well prioritise production, and because we don't need farms. So let's see, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3, 6, 7, 8. So these two are worth exactly the same value. I think we go for this one because it's just higher production. So why not? Might as well. I would like to be on the river. It'd give us some nice benefits being there. But we'll settle here. Kind of on the coast. Oh well, let's settle our first city. This might get loud, by the way, so be prepared. Settle. There we go. Let's skip that quite quickly so it doesn't deafen anyone. So, construction. What do we want to build? Well, we've got lots of production, thankfully. Could go for the... Let's see, what type of money we're making. 0.6. It's not a lot. And what do we have within our borders? I think we go merchant, logging camp, monument. Something like that, I think. And we will also gather up our units and move them out to explore, because there's no point in keeping them inside. I don't think our city's in any particular danger of being attacked anytime soon. It might be, and that could just be the end of us, which would be unfortunate, to say the least. So, research we need to choose. Well, warfare is always a nice one. Magic, always a nice one. We do have a shard within our borders. I do like to prioritise research though. I think we'll try to get up to administration. We'll start off doing that, I think. And also, because of these spells we chose, it allows us to cast certain spells. So we can have Aura of Might, Enchanted Hammers, Meditation, or Propaganda. Now, Aura of Might, not Aura of Might, Enchanted Hammers is what we want. Why? Because it's really good. It gives us +1 production in a city. Now, it won't do anything to these merchants, I don't think. But it will add up. And when it adds up, it will be worth it. And we can have that spell there because of the essence which we originally saw in this spot. We can only have one though, because it was only a 1 essence tile. So you can see the value of going for the essence. Now then, we've got Darklings. Just 1 army. Medium. They're obviously very weak and frail. 12 hit points, 24, 24. And we might be able to take them. We can't march this turn though, so we will end turn. So it's telling us that we can build on these mines. We'll start that mine, getting the metal will be nice. We can't build here until we get shard harvesting. So let's go deal with these Darklings. And hopefully we won't die horribly. They have more attack. We should be fine though. There's only 4 of them. So the Darklings will go first. Oh, they've got an archer. Okay then, skeletons. We'll move them forward. And you can use terror. Maybe not actually. Just attack them. And you don't do a lot of damage. Now I'm actually kind of worried. We'll haste our other unit with the clubs. You can use terror on them. They are beating us up quite badly. We're probably going to lose this fight actually, which is an amazing way to start off an episode. Dying. Should we use Mighty Blow? Sure. It would be unfortunate if we did lose a unit. So he's only got 12 health. We shoot them. Now, the way damage works is that each unit does a certain amount of damage, and the more people are in that unit, the more damage it does. So this one here has 2 units, each doing 4 damage, so they can do a maximum of 4 times 2. We can do anywhere from 3 to 6 times 2 because we have 2 spearmen. So let's stab these guys. Take away some more of their numbers. We'll be lucky if we don't lose a unit. So we will shoot them. Wasn't enough. No, we're probably lost this battle actually. Okay, so things off to a very bad start. Yeah, this is bad. Oh well, we'll try and see if we can't squeeze out something. We'll be lucky though if we can. Didn't think they'd be this strong. Probably should have paid attention to that fact. Don't have any spells which we can really use. Can run away. That works. Oh, damn, he dodged. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're dead. Yeah. That's a bad start. Thankfully we only lost magic. But that's a terrible start. The last thing we want to do is lose all our units. Oh boy, now I'm upset. Anyway, we've hit the 30-minute mark, so we'll have to end this part here. I hope you guys will enjoy this series. Hopefully I won't mess up like I've just done now, which has been unfortunate. And I'll see you all next time.